Hello, everybody. Hello, Longhorn Nation. It's a great weekend for us. That's back-to-back years. And if you go back to Justin Tucker's kick, that's three. That's three's a streak. Even in A&M's year, they couldn't beat Big Brother. And college football season is over because there's nothing happening now, I think. So it was fun, and I guess we're a purely NFL show from now on because Texas took care of business, and that's it, and there's nothing left. But in all seriousness, welcome back to another episode of the House Divided podcast. We're kind of getting into the final stretch of the NFL season here. Mm-hmm. Lots of good divisional battles happening, and the playoff is kind of in a wacky picture from what we all would have imagined. Who would have thought the Patriots and Bears would be sitting at the one?
Crazy, man.
And back to college football, we kind of got not the last rankings, but the second to last rankings, and only conference championships are going to play. So we kind of get a really good idea of what we're going to get with the playoffs now. But you want to just get going with our usual?
Yeah, man. We'll hit our best bets real quick. I went 5-3, pushing to 56-47. My boy Jose 5-1, great weekend. If you tail both our picks, combined 10-4, pretty good weekend.
Hey, and you got to count the Michigan one off because we both went with it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, and then 29-25-1. For you as a season combined, we got that one tie still there. But you kind of alluded to it earlier. Texas ruining A&M's perfect regular season. We were both in attendance. Great atmosphere, great game. Obviously enjoyed being there. Not the result that I wanted, but it was fun being there. I think what happened, we came out flat that second half in all aspects of the game, and we got outplayed, out-physicaled in that second half. And obviously that interception by Michael Taft, kind of the dagger, basically. I mean, the second one was good too, but to me, we were kind of cooked at that point. Yeah. It was that Michael Taft interception that kind of sealed it. Kind of like poetry, did it to us last year, last home game for him. Maybe I don't know if he'll play in a bowl game if he gets there, but no, overall, great game for y'all. Well, you guys were the better team, especially in that second half, and obviously we hate to lose that game to a rival, but hey, man, we're in the playoffs, and I can't complain. If you would have told me coming into the season that A&M would be in the playoffs, I would have been a little shocked. So I'm just happy that we have more to play for, but obviously would love to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a great way to end kind of a tough year. Mm-hmm. I think my special shout out to me was Ethan Burke. I think he was phenomenal all game long. Obviously, he was rewarded with the co-SEC Defensive Player of the Week, but he was phenomenal. You can tell from the first play of the game when he got that big tackle on Marcel Reed, he blocked the field goal. He was just everywhere. And for another Austin native who was maybe playing his final game at DKR, we don't know what he's going to choose to do
Robertson
in his future.
As well.
Exactly. So that was a great game to see and be able to be in person. As you said, the atmosphere was great. There was a little moment I was worried we were going to rush the field.
I honestly thought you guys might, and I wouldn't have been too mad at it, but
I was worried. I was like, this is like kind of like little like we can't be doing it against them. So I was very glad we didn't. That was kind of my take from being there. Obviously, the atmosphere was great. My voice was fading by the end of the game, so very, very exciting. Especially since we had so much at the end with the 2 interceptions. That's when we kind of got our touchdown. So a lot of screaming. It was very fun there.
I think especially on M side, the good thing is we came out healthy. Obviously. Yeah. Especially that Marcel injury in the moment, it looked bad. He wouldn't get up for a little bit. It looked like an ACL to me.
I thought he was done because it wasn't with nobody touched him. He just went down.
Yeah, and he was down for a couple minutes. But he came. I saw him go into the 10, come out in 30 seconds.
He came out instantly and he was doing cuts right out. He was right in front of the student section.
He probably rolled his ankle and needed a little break or something. But obviously it would have been catastrophic if he went down there for the season. But good to see him healthy, and we have a couple weeks off to get everyone back healthy. And kind of the question I have here is, can Texas slide into the playoffs? I feel like
after yesterday it's officially not.
But I guess my question for you is, do you think you guys deserve to be in the playoffs?
I think we do. I mean, I think, to be fair, though, to that, I think there's more than 12 teams that deserve to be in the playoff.
True.
So because I'm going to say yes, I do think we're one of the 12 best teams, but that's just not the way the cookie crumbles. I don't think you should go again. I think, to me, the most important thing is record, and we just don't have the record. I feel like if you get away from going with record as your best measure of who should be in and who shouldn't be, you get into gray areas where bias and maybe kind of like cheating scandals could be accused and could happen. So I think going by record is the most honorable thing, even if you go against, you kind of punish teams with strength of schedule that is really, really strong.
Yeah.
I just think going by record is the fairest thing you can do. So
No,
I don't think
I agree with.
I don't think we were meant to be in the 12-team playoff. I mean, there's a reason we're the highest ranked 3-loss team, because I think we're the best 3-loss team, and I'd say by a good amount. So
no, yeah, I agree. I think disregarding, like, if they didn't do the automatic 5 conference champions, you guys would maybe be 11, 12, or right 13. I think you are.
I do. If they
especially the last couple games of the season, you are looking like one of the best 12 teams, and it's just unfortunate that it's like that. But that it is like that. I think a lot of people are pointing like, oh, like if we just played a cupcake instead of Ohio State, like we'd be in there, or you guys would be in there. Excuse me, but I think. I mean, the big issue is that Florida.
There's no playing ifs, man.
Yeah, I know, but the big issue is that Florida lost. I think.
Yeah.
That's because, like, there's a reason you guys are.
I get the argument, because it's. Yeah. We couldn't do anything about playing Florida. That's just our conference schedule. It's going to rotate every year. We could have done something about playing. That's something we chose to do, but we chose to do it, so we have to deal with the consequences of our choice.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason we're the highest ranked 3-loss team. That's kind of the reason Oklahoma, who picked a great non-conference opponent in Michigan, is the highest 2-loss team. So there's levels to the reward to winning those games, and even scheduling those games. I mean, I feel like we're reaping the rewards of losing that game and the fact that we're the highest ranked.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that's why you're even above some 2-loss teams with some great wins like Vandy, and it basically not nullifies completely that Ohio State loss, but it's not weighed that much. I think that, I mean, you can't remove that Florida game, but that's a game you guys should win. It's bad team. It's just unfortunate, and that's what obviously is bringing you down. Except I would say that Florida State loss, that's probably the worst loss anyone has in that top 15.
I agree, especially since Florida did just dominate State.
I saw that.
So
if Florida lost that game, then maybe you guys could have the worst one.
But it now belongs to Alabama.
Yeah.
There are some things, obviously, with the ranks that came out that are a little weird. Obviously, the Bama jump. They explained the gritty 4th down or whatever.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest issue is going to be that Notre Dame Miami, man.
I guess.
I think if they keep Notre Dame, I mean, they probably will, because they've had them, but I think it's going to piss off a lot of people.
I think they're in at this point.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Kind of talking to another team that kind of maybe had an outside chance coming in before Tuesday, especially after a big win here against their rivals too. Vanderbilt and Pavia kind of dominating the second half as well in Knoxville. What do you think of this game? And unfortunately, I don't see any path for Vanderbilt, because obviously they're behind you guys now as well.
Yeah, that to me was a little weird. That they obviously it was a close enough game for a couple quarters, and then obviously the second half was all Vanderbilt. The entire team looked really good. Pavia really kind of like had his moment there, which was great to see. It got them Jared Curtis, the top quarterback in the country, committed after that, so that's a huge win for them. But as you said, they're behind Texas now, which efficiently ends their season.
But a great season from them.
A great season. Like you said, it's building the foundation for greater things, like I just mentioned with Curtis, which is kind of what you wanted from the season. You want to be able to build a program. Nashville's a great town, so it's going to be awesome to see that they're going to have a good football team and a great scene there. To me, it was a little weird that they wound. I know Texas has the head-to-head, and you had to move them up a certain amount because they did just beat the number 3 team, A&M. But I mean, I feel like there's the whole gray area to, well, is it they're ahead because of the head-to-head? Then could they be ahead of Oklahoma? I think it would just been simpler to keep Texas at 14, and then Vanderbilt at 13. But to the end of the day, I mean, those 2 spots, whoever got 13 and 14. There's just no outcome in which whoever was 13 and 14 this week are going to get into the playoffs. So I don't think it matters, and I think both of those two teams are just looking at a bowl game and hopefully building to better things next year, and looking at the recruiting classes. Obviously, just mentioned what Vanderbilt got. Texas had the most 5-stars signed today on National Signing Day, so they obviously both have good things going forward to next year.
Yeah, I think obviously giving the season outcome, if you're Vanderbilt in this moment, you're like, wish we could be in the playoffs, but start of the season, you would take this.
Yeah, you would take this
any day of the week, and obviously Diego Pavia going out in a big way with 2 massive games at the end of the season. Always a good thing to beat your rival on the road. Like you said, has positive for the program future, and a lot of NIL money is going to roll in a city like Nashville. And Tennessee side, very, very disappointing season for them.
Yeah.
They beat up on a bunch of average teams and then lost some home
games.
games.
It really feels like that loss to Georgia kind of demoralized the whole season.
Not as bad as Oregon when they beat Penn State.
But
it kind of demoralized their season. But it was a good game to watch, a lot of offensive football, but unfortunately, maybe Pavia ends up as a top 4 in the Heisman. We never know. But let's move on to this third game. Ohio State dominating the game for the first time in 5 years. Will they go back-to-back this year?
I think they will. I think this team is just too good and too scary. Obviously, now for them, I'll say concerns about the future, obviously, because Brian Hartline is such an important part of the team, and he's going to USF. Very well deserved for him there. Congratulations. But I do think they're going to go back-to-back this year. I think they proved that they are able to be very physical against a team that had been out-physicaling them for 4 years. They were able to shut down the run, which is kind of the more surprising thing when it comes to Michigan. Obviously, they shut down the pass. That was kind of expected. Sayin, again, looks really good. He's very efficient, kind of the perfect distributor quarterback. I think they did a very nice job resting Tate and Smith and having them ready for this game, need be. And while it looked like Michigan had the momentum early, which they kind of did have it early, it was a great way to kind of swing back, kind of like the first maybe level of adversity they've had all year, and I like the way they bounced back really quickly. So I'll give them that. And obviously the big game for Ohio State is this week, and it's kind of the Heisman game. So,
yeah, it's for the Heisman, for number 1 seed, for
a lot
everything, man. But I agree. I mean, we've known this whole season Ohio State probably has the best defense in the country. They showed it again. And then offensively started a little rough with that pick, but after that kind of
that he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was fantastic, and they leaned on that run game, especially in that second half, and they were able to drain the clock, and that defense was fresh when they came back on, and Michigan couldn't do much. I thought this game would be a little bit closer because I thought, since Michigan's had their number, but it wasn't really a game.
And then when they started off with those two, the big stop, the big interception, I was like, oh, this is going to be a great game, even if I do think Ohio State's going to get things going, but it was going to be a great. Once they were only able to get those 6 points on those 2 short fields, and it didn't look fantastic. I didn't have much hopes that they could win the game because I do think their offense was going to hold them back a little too much, and I think that this Ohio State offense was a lot better than at what they were playing at the game's level last year, but I didn't think they were going to be able to run away with it the way they eventually did.
Yeah. And obviously this is the favorite. They won it last year. They look even better, especially in the regular season than they did last year. They definitely will go back-to-back. I need to see how the bracket kind of plays out to see that I'm going to pick them to win, but they're up there on my 3 favorites to win it all. All right, let's move on to this last game here. We got Alabama escapes haunted Jordan-Hare Stadium once again in a close one-possession game, nail-biter. What did you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, once again, it does look like, I mean, it's kind of been traditional. It was obviously, it's happened a lot through Alabama's history, and they've still been able to go all the way and win the big game. Most recently, their last playoff run was the great game they had against Michigan in the Rose Bowl. They had the 4th and 29 that year, so I think we're kind of looking at a similar thing. They're going to, because it's Georgia, I think they have a very real chance of winning. They've already beat them this year. Definitely some concerns. The rushing game's still not there for Alabama.
Simpson hasn't looked as good.
If he can get going again, those receivers have fallen off in the level they are. I don't know if it's on them.
Horn's been playing good.
Yeah,
but Besides that,
Yeah. Which is the main concern for me. You can't not have a run game and have the passing game be falling off in the way it has been. Hopefully this is a get-right game, kind of how it was a get-right game to start the year, too. They obviously took off on their best stretch of the year around this game, which is hopefully something you can get right before the playoffs, because I do think if he can get back to the similar level, they have maybe the best quarterback in the playoff if he gets back to that level. So when you have a quarterback of that level, you can always win games. So
yeah, honestly, don't have much more to add. I think just Auburn side of it, I feel like you always have them and you find a way to choke, and happen again. You got your new head coach coming in. He says he's going to turn this offense around. I mean, we'll see if he can do it, but hopefully they can return to their peak and a good team, because I don't like seeing a great school and a very historically successful school be 1-6 and 1-7 in conference play every year. But speaking of that, let's go straight into our top 10 here, man.
All right, for the first of my top 10, at number 10, I have, same as last time, I have BYU. The one loss to Texas Tech, not a very good loss. I mean, it was to a good team, but you didn't look good in that game. And you do have another shot at them, so we'll see. I think, depending on what the committee does, you might have to win that game, because I don't think they value the Big 12 as well. Number 9, I have Bama. We talked about it a little today. Still, the offense is very much a concern. The run game's a concern. The line's a concern. But with a quarterback like Simpson in the game against Georgia, I think they do have a very chance to pull off something real, and I think they should be 9. Oklahoma beat them. That's why they got to be ahead. Oklahoma's defense is, again, phenomenal. They struggled there offensively a lot. Again against LSU, which is a real concern. It had to come down to the last fourth quarter to be able to finally get something on the board. But they won, and they took care of business, I guess, so they're going to stay as the highest-ranked 2-loss team. Number 7, I have Ole Miss. To me, they're kind of like the worst of that one-loss group, because, I mean, they just lost to Lane Kiffin. That's a huge loss. I know Charlie Weiss Jr. is staying as the OC for the playoffs before going back to LSU, which I guess is good for them. But I just think there's going to be kind of like a drop off because you don't lose your head coach and you're the same team. Number 6, I have Texas Tech. They still look like a very good team. I just like the other teams a little better because number 5 is Texas A&M University. Obviously, they had the loss to me to what is a much better team than what Texas has been all year. A&M didn't play their best game they've been able to play all year. Hopefully that offense gets going a little better in the other games. Marcel Reed, maybe that injury haunted him and his ability to kind of play throughout the rest of the game. Maybe he wasn't able to get his footing right. That could have led to the interceptions. Maybe his mobility, who knows?
That was just a bad read. It was quadruple covered. But
Yeah, but I'm trying to give him credit for something, you know.
Maybe other throws, but that one was bad.
That one was bad. I just still think that's a good team. Howell had some plays where he didn't.
He was non-existent.
He was non-existent, so I don't think
the only time I noticed him was when he had that crucial 3rd and 8 penalty and 3rd and 3, and Arch ran it in for 40 yards.
Yeah, so I don't think that is going to necessarily happen to Cassius Howell again. So I think, I don't think there's a need to drop off Texas A&M behind teams like Tech and Ole Miss, who I think are facing different adversity that I think Texas A&M. Number 4, I have Oregon. I think they're kind of back to what they were. I mean, they've got a couple of good wins under their belt now. People forget it was a close game for a good bit against Indiana. I still think Dante Moore is a phenomenal quarterback. Dan Lanning's a great coach, and that defense is absolutely elite, and they can shut down a lot of great offenses, I think. And I think they're going to be I think they're just really great. And I think if they were playing the Big Ten Championship this week instead of the other two teams, I think it would be an equal game, whichever one of these three teams. So I think they're phenomenal. Number 3, I have Georgia. One-loss SEC team against that Bama team. When it's kind of like a historic team you kind of lose to, it's just kind of like, I don't think, sometimes it's just the fit of playing that game. So I just do think this team is phenomenal. They've been playing better down the stretch. Obviously, the Texas game is kind of like a signature game for them. I think Stockton and the offense is kind of finding the momentum at the right time. And that defense has gone better along the stretch, so I think they deserve to be at 3. Indiana at 2, Ohio State at 1. They've been there since Indiana beat Oregon and Ohio State beat Texas. I mean, there's not really much to get into.
Yeah, honestly, I have the exact same order except my number 10 is Miami. I just think if they put them on a field, I think Miami wins. And I have to value that head-to-head with Notre Dame. I've been flip-flopping almost every week on that, but at the end of the day, they did beat them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the rest is exactly the same. If Ole Miss still had Lane Kiffin, I probably would have him against A&M because I think their loss to Georgia was a little more close than ours to Texas.
And I guess Georgia did beat Texas.
Yeah, so I do think this Ole Miss team is really good. It's just unfortunate they lost their great coach.
Yeah, I knocked them for kind of the Jordan Travis rule, not necessarily
No. That's why I put them behind A&M too now because it's just a tough situation, a lot of drama going on. We'll see if they can turn it around in their playoff game, but yeah, that's our top 10 here, and then we'll move on to the NFL. Long weekend, some Thanksgiving games. First one, my Cowboys continue to roll versus the Chiefs here. Yeah, man. What are your thoughts on this game?
The Chiefs are rolling. They're looking really good. The defense is.
You mean the Cowboys, not the Chiefs?
Yes, absolutely. I meant the Cowboys.
I thought you were going to make
a
the
joke. C words, the CDA.
And then I saw you were actually serious.
No, I was literally also about to say Quentin Williams too, and people were going to be so confused. I meant the Cowboys. I mixed up my teams. The Cowboys are getting rolling. The D-line has helped the secondary out a bit. Quentin Williams has been better than advertised because I think part of the advertising was, he hasn't done much this year. So he's been very good. He's been what you needed. He's paired up
double teams, man, and that's all we need.
That's all you need because he liberates guys like Clark who had been eating,
had a good game.
And Clowney who's been a good addition. So that offense is obviously phenomenal with those two receivers and Ferguson and everything. And Dak is working him. I think he's top 4 MVP candidate right now. He's playing great football, and they're getting rolling getting going at what hopefully is the right time for them. I don't know if there's enough time to be able to catch up to some of those teams. I think there is time. I just don't know the schedules of the other teams well enough to. Are the losses going to be there that the Cowboys need there to be there? And they do have obviously games against I think the Chargers and the Lions.
Yeah.
So
not the Vikings anymore. Their quarterbacks are abysmal, but
so I think the Cowboys are showing the positive signs you need to see. And then from a Chiefs point of view, 6-6. I think you're 2 games behind from the 7 seed, 4 games behind from your division. I don't think the Bills, who are the 7 seed right now, are we looking at a lot of losses. I think your best hope would be to beat the Chargers, who obviously have to play the Cowboys, who have to play the Chiefs again. So hopefully that's where you make up the games there, but you still have to play the Broncos. So I think we're looking at it. There's a really real chance the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, and reasonably so. They haven't had a very good year.
The Chiefs got to win out. I think you have to run the table. I don't think 7 losses in that AFC with the teams that are fighting for those spots, and you're so far behind, can cut it, especially because a lot of them have a head-to-head over you as well. So
I think it's all of the wild cards have.
So,
it's not because the Jaguars are on top of their division now.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs have the head-to-head over the.
Oh no, the Colts beat. Yeah, but I think the Colts are going to end up winning that division anyway. But
they do play the Jaguars this week.
Yeah, and then the Chiefs have another important game we'll speak about later against the Texans too, who's also fighting for a spot and getting going. And then Cowboys love to see it, man. Love to see a win against an experienced team, a good team in my eyes, and needed it to continue that playoff push. And hopefully, I think we also have to win out just because the teams ahead of us are doing so good and they're great teams. So hopefully we continue to roll. We have a tough game this week as well, but I like what I've seen from Dak, and especially this defense has improved so much. Maybe Jerry was smart with those trades. I said it might have been too late, but it still could be too late, but at least seeing some positive signs there.
Yeah. You still have 2 first-round picks, so maybe it's something to build upon. A worst-case scenario, it's something you build upon for next year.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to we talked a little about Thanksgiving. Let's move over to Black Friday for a bit. The Bears take care of business once again. A lot of people haven't expected it. They now sit atop of the NFC because of what happened on Sunday as well. But they stunned the They stunned the Eagles. What are your takes from that game?
Yeah, I actually forgot to add that game. I forgot that it was a Friday game.
I misread
no,
Bengals as Bears.
No, yeah. But
on our
we'll speak
note.
of that one too. But,
Yeah.
On the Bears, honestly, I thought it would be a close game. I thought because the Bears are a little gritty. They do a lot of field goals, and the Eagles haven't looked the best offensively. But I didn't expect them to come in and beat the Eagles, especially the Eagles trying to bounce back. Great showing from the Bears. Ben Johnson, to me, coach of the year unless he collapses here late season. He's got his team confident, and they're playing like it. Caleb Williams was playing really good too. Really improved from last year, obviously, and then start of the season. And that defense has improved also massively. And then from the Eagles' point of view, that offense still concerning a little bit. A.J. Brown had a good game, so you'd like to see that. But Saquon's obviously nothing close to what he was last year. And for them to make a run in the playoffs, he's the recipe to their success. I mean, we saw that lead them to the Super Bowl, so he needs to get going again. But, I mean, if the Eagles keep dropping games, the Cowboys can maybe steal that division too. Yeah. But obviously, the Bears, no one expected, especially after starting 1-2, to be 9-3 on top of the NFC, which is crazy. But they have some tough division games coming up.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with a lot of the Bears are just I think kind of in a way stumbling their way into the 1 seed. For the Eagles' point of view, we sat here a couple of weeks ago and we debated whether what the Eagles were doing were sustainable at that point, which was playing elite defense, ugly offense. I think that point that has turned it non-sustainable was that defense is no longer playing to the level it kind of was a couple of weeks ago, where they were just being able to stop everything. And now with them only allowing some stuff and stopping a lot, but like not playing as elite as they were, and that offense still struggling, not being able to find where they want to run, they want to pass, still struggling with identity and what they can and can't do. I'm very concerned for this Eagles team to want to make a real push. I think there's not enough season left to where Dallas can kind of come back on them. I think they don't have the hardest. Philly can find the wins in their schedule to hold on to their division. But I am concerned when it comes to real games in the playoffs, so what they can do.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and the one I was
supposed to mention
the Bengals stunning the Ravens and Burrow's return in Baltimore, pushing the Bengals to 4-8, if I'm not mistaken, and keep tying the Ravens with the Steelers atop of the division. What were your thoughts on this one?
I was very happy. I was very excited, and then I was eventually let down on Sunday. But from a Bengals point of view, I mean, great win. Burrow comes back. No T. Higgins, looks really good at back, which is what you want to see from your franchise quarterback. That offense, I mean, kind of has which with either Joe in, they look really good. They played good football. They were able to attack through the air, and kind of even through the Chase Brown had a decent game again. Not as spectacular, but he wasn't terrible. But I think to me the concern is obviously with the Ravens, which it has been all year. Their offense just doesn't look good. Lamar doesn't look good. He's had a stretch of very bad games since his return. And that defense, I'll give it to them. It was the Bengals offense, which to me is a very, very elite offense. But again, you let up a lot more points than if you want to make a real run, which I don't think they have the level to make a real run. I think they're going to find themselves facing a better team than them in the wild card, and I think whether it's the Steelers sneaking in there in their division, whether it's the Ravens staying atop, I think the AFC North is one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah, kind of agree with that statement as well. But I think it just sucks from the Bengals' point of view, because if they just picked up one more win, two more wins, there's two they choked away.
If they had like the Jets one was
the Bears and the Jets one was heartbreaking. I mean, they would be tied for the division here.
I mean, they still can, because they play. Say the Steelers,
again.
Say the Bengals win out. Say the Steelers and Ravens split. They're at 7 losses. The Steelers still have to play the Lions.
Yeah, but they would need a lot.
The Ravens still have to play the Patriots. Theoretically, they should both lose both of those games. That's 8 losses. Then you could have a 3-way tie at 8 losses, a 9-8, and I don't know where the tiebreakers fall there.
Well, I think the Bengals have only lost. I don't know about the Browns games. I know they lost to you guys once, but
they split with us.
and then that would be implying
Yeah.
they beat Baltimore twice. So
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see, but it's kind of unfortunate. But I mean, Burrow looked like he didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase had a big game. Defense kind of shut down, but
This-
the Ravens offense has not looked good at all
Yeah.
this year, and a defense. I thought by now they would at least figure something out to be at least a top 10 defense, but they're bottom 3,
Mhm.
bottom 5 defense. So I think if they do get in the playoffs, I do think they bounce
would
out
be, yeah.
real quick. But
But I think
Yeah,
they could
man.
give the most exciting game in the playoffs. So
oh yeah. Let's move on to the last Thanksgiving game here. Packers dominating the Lions yet again. I'll go straight into this one. I think it was a little shocking, but I just think the Lions are not the same team. Jordan Love had a great game. Christian Watson had a big game as well. And they just couldn't really stop the passing game, and they couldn't really get going. Obviously, Amon-Ra going down is not good for them. I think he's maybe out this week as well. Their passing game couldn't really get going, and Jahmyr Gibbs had obviously compared to the week before, not as good a game,
Yeah.
but he also struggled a bit. The offense couldn't get cooking, and the passing game from Green Bay did cook, and that was the difference. And obviously, much needed win from Green Bay to keep up with the Bears to have a win twice over a good division rival. But the Lions are now the first team out of the playoffs in the wild card, so we'll see, man. But I don't like what I've seen from the Lions here down the stretch of the mid-season.
yeah, again, there was kind of a point in the middle where they looked very good, but since then, they've been a little bit rough at times. Obviously, I mean, the loss of coordinators sucks. I think that's why they're kind of in a state that they are right now. They're kind of still figuring out who they are without those coaches, and it's coming at the worst time. Hopefully, they can sneak into the 7th seed, the 6th seed, because I think they would be one of the most exciting teams to have in the playoffs. I think they can always deliver brilliant games and brilliant offense. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for with them. Hopefully, they get a big win in that playoff race this week against Dallas. I mean, you're kind of two teams that are kind of looking for that position to maybe sneak into the 7th seed. The key, I think, to them is just to play better defensive football. I think the offense is maybe not at the elite level it was a year ago, but they can still put up a lot of points if the game is right. So if they play well, the defense to me is the concern. Even with Hutchinson back this year, they haven't been much better than they should be. So, and I think that's kind of what's haunted them the most in the stretch, because obviously Green Bay was allowed to shine offensively this game, even though they'd been stopped by some concerning
Questionable
teams.
Yeah.
So I think that makes Detroit's defense look very questionable.
Yeah. All right, last game we'll react to here. Not one I had anticipated to talk about, but I mean, Panthers upset the NFC favorite Rams here to keep up with the Bucks at that division.
I mean,
what were your
Bryce
thoughts about
Young
this
is just
one?
the definition of every time you ride him up, he does something to get back right back on the bottom of the mountain and stay on there and keep fighting.
Yeah.
Great game. I mean, great game by the Panthers. I mean, I in a way I just want to say it is what it is for the Rams. I mean, I think that offense still looked really good. To the defense, so you don't play a great game once you've been playing great games. I mean, hopefully you can just sort it out. I think they will sort it out. I'm not super concerned. Bryce Young played one of the best games of his career. That offense played a great game. Obviously, find out what happened on the big touchdown. That's obviously a busted assignment there. I'm not as concerned for them as I am excited for what the Panthers were able to do this game, because that's now like 2 elite games that I think Bryce Young has had as kind of as a coming out power. Dave Canales is obviously doing a great job as the coach there, and I think they're kind of whether they can hold on to the last spot in the playoffs, whether they can really take the fight to Tampa Bay, who's struggled recently, and take the division. I think they're in a very good position. I think it's exciting time in Carolina.
Yeah, I think this game we finally saw those 2 talented running backs on display.
Yeah.
It was obviously Chuba till he got hurt, then Rico took over, and then Chuba kind of took over, and then Rico took over, and now they both
They finally got the committee going.
kind of even splits on RB snaps, and then Chuba through the air had a great game. And then Bryce Young had a great game. I think also those early 2 picks for Matthew Stafford didn't help.
Yeah,
But besides those 2 mistakes, he was distributing the ball to his receivers, and that offense got churning again. Obviously, I'm not too concerned about the Rams. I still love this team. I still love Matt Stafford in big
still
moments.
my favorite team in the NFC.
Just had a struggle game, and they couldn't really catch up, and they still played him really close. But like you mentioned, Carolina still has to play the Bucs twice, so they could still fight for that division, and they're a really good team. I really like Carolina, but I will edge the Bucs to win that division, but you never know.
I did see some memes about it's been
They're all negative point differential.
Oh no, it's been 3 years, and the Bears are still benefiting from the Bryce Young trade.
Oh yeah. They're at I know all the teams in that division have like a minus 20 or 30 point differential, which is awful. But yeah, that what wraps up our reaction. You want to go straight into these?
Yeah, let's get straight into the predictions. Like last week, we're going to start off with the NFL because it's obviously championship weekend, so there's a lot of stakes to it. So we want to keep on the edge of your seats a little more. Let's talk about your team first. The Cowboys. They play tomorrow night, Thursday night football, which is good because they get a whole week of practice. I mean, obviously, so do the Lions, but it's kind of like a full week on a not traditional for Thursday night football. So it's going to be hopefully one of the better Thursday night footballs of the year. It's a high list matchup. 2 elite offenses playing against each other against 2 trouble. So we're looking at the over here. I'm saying. What are you looking forward to in this game? What's your prediction? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Cowboys to win this game. Obviously, there's some bias in there, but I think Amon-Ra, as of right now, is not slotted to play. I think they're going to miss him yet again. Obviously, they'll be a little more prepared without him, but this defense has been a little bit better since those additions. And without Amon-Ra, they'll be able to focus on J-Mo a little bit more. And I think we won't stop the run game, but I think we can limit its big plays with that D-line. And then on the offensive side, I mean, we saw Jordan Love in the Packers offense that's been struggling, kind of carve him up through the air. And I think, obviously, our passing game is way better. And those receivers are impossible to contain. So I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win in a shootout and continue to roll and kind of take that number 1 spot in the hunt teams.
I'm actually going to have to agree here.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. I do think it's going to be a very close game. I am 50.1 to 49.9 on this. I think because I'm also going under the assumption that I don't think Amon-Ra is going to play. I think if you insert Amon-Ra, I would pick Detroit, but I think he's not going to play. I do think with the way the D-line is playing right now, I think they're going to be able to take it to Detroit a little to where I don't think Jameson Williams is going to be able to do as much. I think you're going to want to put it on the hands of Gibbs, and I think Dallas is better suited to stop that than through the air. I think Dallas' defense has just kind of been more on the spot these last couple of weeks than Detroit's has. And I do think with those 2 receivers that they have, they're currently playing better offensive football than Detroit is. So I'm going with the Cowboys on this one. And Dak's playing better football than Jared Goff as well right now. So because of that, I just think it's the Cowboys right now. And they have the momentum on their side. I don't think the Lions have momentum on their side right now. So, but then what the Lions do have, they play Pittsburgh the week after that. So Jameson Williams is going to go for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jared Goff is going to break the single-game touchdown record. But that's for the future.
That's for the future. All right, from my team to your team, we got an AFC North battle for the top of that division. I'm not sure if I remember where it's at, but Ravens versus Steelers. Who you got?
I got football losing in what is going to be the ugliest game of the year.
Yeah. 2 bad defenses, but somehow the offenses
are even worse. Yeah. We're going to see. It's probably going to be one of those games where the final score might be like 6 to 12, and for some reason there will have been 800 yards in the game. It's just terrible red zone offense where you go for on 4th down every time you get stopped. You throw 5 red zone interceptions, 2 red zone fumble. It's just going to be it's just going to be an ugly AFC North game. But I think the Ravens are even in a better place right now, and it comes to a quarterback that's playing bad football. I just think right now, even though he's playing bad football, Lamar to me is the difference maker. Even though he hasn't been the greatest quarterback against the Steelers, that run what the Bills just did to the Steelers through the run game was embarrassing. If they could get 250 yards on the Steelers, I think the Ravens can get 250 yards as well. With Derrick Henry and Lamar, I think they're going to be very versatile, and I think they can run through the Steelers, who are in a very, very rough place right now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I think, like you mentioned, the running game, I trust the Steelers a little bit better. Oh, the Ravens running game a little bit better, and it's going to be a lot of field goals. I do like Boswell better as a kicker.
Oh, I do too. The one thing that has me still just super in love with this team is that we have the greatest kicker of all time. He's just ice cold. He makes everything. He's so good.
But Rodgers been struggling.
He's been struggling.
Lamar too, but I think Lamar has a little more of a wow factor than Rodgers, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Lamar's also, I'd say, healthier than Rodgers right now.
And then in Baltimore, and before that game, the Ravens had won 5 or 4 in a row. So. And
this is one of the few games of the year where the Ravens have objectively, factually better receivers than their opponent.
Oh, yeah. But, unfortunately, going to go with the Ravens here, but wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers win this too. It's going to be 15-12.
I wouldn't be shocked with... The only way you could tell me this game's a shock is if the Steelers win 49-0, or offense puts up a historic offensive game, and our defense
team wins 42-35.
Yeah,
where'd this offense come from?
Yeah,
man.
All right, let's take it from the north to the south, from what we expect to be an ugly game to what we think can be an electric game. Two offenses that have. One that was going very well at the beginning of the year. They've hit a struggle recently, to an offense that has kind of somehow found their footing a little, even though they lost their 2 best receivers for a stretch of time, one for the year. Jaguars and the Colts, another matchup for the top of their division. What are you looking forward to in this game? Who do you think's got it?
Yeah, man. This one's tough. Every time I try to hype up the Jaguars after a couple good weeks, they always fall down. The Colts
this feels like Trevor's about to throw
like
for 49% completion percentage and 2-3 interceptions.
What was I going to say? The Colts, obviously, 2 weeks in a row, tough outings. Gave up their lead for the division. But I think, even though it's in Jacksonville, I am going to take the Colts in this one. I think, kind of what you mentioned, this Colts defense is they turn people over a lot, and Trevor Lawrence is known for having a lot of turnovers, especially in big games. I think it's going to be a big turnover that's going to swing the game towards the Colts' way. And I think Taylor has a bounce-back game, and he has a big game. And I think that offense looks a little bit more of what we saw earlier in the year. And I think the Colts really need this game, obviously. And I think they bounce back after 2 rough weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I think the stakes are a little too high for the Colts. I think this is the bounce-back week. For them, I think Jonathan Taylor finally kind of gets back into the rhythm that he had been earlier in the year. Obviously, to me, the concern is Daniel Jones' leg. How's he going to be able to play on that in a second week again? That defense has been concerning for the Colts as well. I do like what the Jaguars have been able to do defensively in these games recently, though. So I do think the X factor to me is actually Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Can he keep it really to 1 interception is the question. If he can keep it to 1, I think I'd go Jacksonville. I don't think he keeps it to 1. I think
he gets.
I think he gets 2, whether it be 2 picks, a pick and a fumble, or whatever. So because of that, I do think I'm going with the Colts in this game. I just think they're going to be able to play safer ball, and I think they'll be able to kind of control the game, kind of like the old-fashioned Colts of 10 weeks ago.
Yeah. All right, moving on to another division battle here, the NFC North. Can the Bears keep hold of the division at Lambeau Field versus the Packers?
They can. My pick for the game is the Colts. I mean, the Colts are going to come to Lambeau right after beating the Jaguars. They're going to play the first ever three-way game. No, I'm taking the Packers in this game. They got a good win against Detroit. And I think Jordan Love's playing good football right now. I think the home field advantage is very special in Lambeau. Then
they'll be ramped up for this game.
They'll be ramped up for this game. It's the number 1 seeded Bears. And to me, the Bears haven't been this dominant one. They have stumbled into
wins, dude.
Into wins. there's a reason they lost to the Tyler Huntley-led Ravens. I don't think this Bear team is great. I think Ben Johnson is great, and that's kind of why they're where they at. He's turned this team around really well. I think they're going to make the playoff. I think there's a reason a lot of people are like, they might be the 1 seed, but of all the teams currently leading their divisions, I think they might be the first one out of the playoff.
I think I saw either they're 10th or 15th for Super Bowl odds.
Yeah.
And they're the 1 seed in the NFC. That should say something.
That says something. It's things like that I'm going with Green Bay. I just think they're playing very good football right now, and they do own the Bears. So
yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I think the Bears magic kind of dies down a little bit here. I do think they keep it somewhat close, but I think the Packers at home, I think Micah's going to have a big game, and Caleb, we've seen him get frazzled at times in the pocket. I think it's going to happen a little bit this game, and I think Jordan Love, I don't think he has as good a game as he did against Detroit, but he does enough to lead his team to a win, and I think they lean on Josh Jacobs. He's a little more healthier now than he was last week. So I'm going to pick the Packers here in Lambeau. Big game. Like you said, they own the Bears. And not much more to say. I think just the Bears magic dies this week, but I still think this is a playoff team.
yeah, I think so too. Even though they have their last ones have just been weird. They had a very struggling Philadelphia. They beat the Rudolph-led Steelers. They beat They beat the Giants without Dart.
Yeah.
So very interesting from them.
All right, this next one, kind of an AFC must win for wild card teams here, or not for in the hunt teams trying to become wild card teams here on Sunday Night Football. Chiefs versus Texans. I'm pretty sure it's in Kansas City. Who you got this time?
I mean, I'd like to say the Chiefs. I probably would say the Chiefs if it was 2 weeks ago, and at every other point of the last 6 years, I'd say the Chiefs. But just the way the two teams are playing right now, it just doesn't seem like the Chiefs can win a close game, even though they just did in Indianapolis in overtime. I think Houston has found a very good thing going for them right now. They got Stroud back, but even with Mills, they were looking good. They got the big wins against Buffalo, against Indianapolis, so I think they're in a good place right now. I think that defense is going to be able to stop them the way they've been able to stop teams, the way they were able to stop teams early in the year. And I think this offense has been able to find something that they didn't have early in the year, and the protection has gotten better. I mean, there's nothing worse than what they had early in the year. So I think because of that and just the Chiefs' struggles, really, I'm going with the Texans on this one.
Yeah, this one's tough because that Texans defense has looked really good.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs kind of lean heavy on the pass. Rashee Rice has had some massive games. Leader in fantasy since he's come back, or I guess titled JSN. I'm actually going to lean the Chiefs here. I think this is just a must-win game at home, under the lights, cold weather. I think the Texans are going to have to lean on C.J. Stroud, and because I think that running game might get shut down, and I think Chris Jones is going to be able to get to him, and I don't think his receivers will be able to get it empty as much. I think it's going to be very ugly, low scoring, because I do think that Texans defense is really good. But I think I trust Mahomes more and Andy Reid, and I know like we said this during those 6 losses, but I just don't see him losing this must-win at home under the lights. So I am going to take the Chiefs, and the Chiefs defeated the Colts as well. The team the Texans just beat at home, so it's gonna be ugly, man. But I think the Chiefs get it done in an ugly game.
Let's go to someone who shares the division with the Chiefs, just a spot ahead of them in the division. The Chargers host the Eagles this week on Monday night. You want to preview that for us a little? What do you think? Who's gonna win?
This one's another tough one, man.
It's been a tough week, man.
Yeah, the Eagles kind of on the downtrend here, going to LA. Been flip-flopping. I do think the Eagles are a better team, but the way I've seen that offense and the way I've seen that Chargers offense with Vidal having a big game last week and Herbert, I think I am going to pick the Chargers here at home. I think I trust Herbert more. I think this Chargers defense is very good, and we've seen an Eagles offense that kind of struggled, and I think the Chargers will kind of limit the Eagles to under 13, 17 points, and I think the Chargers can put up more than that with that running game and passing game, and they're also been rolling as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers as well. My prediction is similar. I think it's going to be like a 23-17 kind of game. I think Minter, as you said, that defense, I think, is kind of like Jesse Minter's the kind of mind who's going to be able to shut down the Eagles, who have kind of in the way been shutting themselves down. I just think I agree with almost what you said. I trust Herbert to be the one to make the difference against the Eagles defense rather than Hurts against the Chargers defense. It's at home. It's in LA. It's cross country. I mean, those long trips do hurt. Like, it's really hard to go cross country, East Coast, West Coast. So I'm going with the Chargers on this one to take a big win to help them in their own playoff race and stay in that really tight AFC wildcard.
Yeah, man. Conclusive for NFL. There was a lot this week, a lot of division battles, a lot of wild card battles, but we'll move here to Championship Sunday. Honestly, to me, just two big matchups, one that could turn into, there's playoff implications in one as well, but first one being a Big 12 rematch from a domination earlier in the year in Lubbock. We got Tech versus BYU. Who you got in this one? I think the spread's 12.5.
And I think it fairly so. Mm-hmm. I think Texas Tech has gotten going. I think, obviously, for BYU, better off that you're not playing at Tech, but you're still playing in Texas. Mm-hmm. So you still have to come a lot further than Texas Tech goes. I think the crowd will still be mostly Tech fans, still going to be hostile towards BYU. And overall, I just think Texas Tech is the better team at kind of every aspect of the game. They're better defensively. They have better players on defense. They have one of the Heisman candidates on defense. You have on offense. I trust your veteran offense a little better. I trust Morton, the veteran, a little more than I trust true freshman Beckmeyer, however you pronounce Bear's name. So and then it was too much of a blowout last time
it was so bad
for me to swing to BYU, who I actually like as a team. I've liked them all year. But yeah, their coach is staying after the Penn State rumors, which is a huge one for them. But even with that, I'm taking Tech.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be as bad, but I think it's going to be Tech domination from the start. I think that defense is just too good. BYU looked like they couldn't even move the ball 2 yards in that first game. I think it's going to be more of the same. That D-line for Tech is insanely good. And I think their offense will get going and maybe like a 31-14 type game, I think. I think for BYU, you just got to keep it close to say like committee. We lost the same thing twice and we're out of playoffs now, but we can keep up with this kind of team. I think if you get blown out again, I don't know if I agree with it, but I think your playoff is down the
especially since I think the committee's going to really want to be able to sneak Miami in so they don't deal with the whole Miami-Notre Dame fallout.
Exactly. But let's move on to the second championship game. The SEC championship. Will Georgia break that Alabama curse in that game?
I do think they break the curse. As we talked about it earlier, obviously Alabama's run game has been non-existent, but the passing game has come down a level. Ty Simpson has come down a level. Other than Horton, the receivers have come down a level. And I think Georgia has come up a level since they played earlier in the year. Obviously, with it being the caveat that it is this game, and historically Alabama has been able to step up their game for a game like this, even in years where they haven't been at their best. But I am taking Georgia in this game. They're just too good for the way this Alabama team has been struggling.
I'm actually going to disagree. I do think Georgia's the better team, don't get me wrong.
Plus, it's very hard for me to beat the same team twice in a year.
Yeah, I agree. I think Georgia has been the better team, and especially these last couple weeks, and they technically should win this game. I just think somehow, some way, Alabama will find a way to win. I think Ty Simpson will
so too. I think they do have the edge at quarterback still.
Yeah, I think Ty Simpson will find a way. I think it's going to come down to maybe a late drive for a field goal, and I trust Ty Simpson a little bit more. We saw that Georgia pass defense struggle a little bit earlier in the year. They kind of recovered a little bit, but there's still some young players back there, and Ty Simpson can exploit. I think they do have to get the running game a little more involved. Mm-hmm. But I think the players will be riled up, and I think Alabama sees this game as a must-win.
I mean, it is a must-win.
Yeah,
I
so-
think they should be in no matter what, just because
But
of the.
you never know.
I
Yeah.
don't want to punish teams that play in the conference championship, but who
You
knows
never
what the
know.
committee's going to do.
Committee does some crazy stuff. So I do think Alabama wins this one and takes the SEC championship yet again, and DeBoer keeps his job.
Yeah.
This last one, man. Usually the SEC championship is getting all the highlights, but this year,
But
Big
they're still
Ten.
getting game day, man.
Yeah, but hey, that's just because the game
Yeah.
is playing on ESPN, and
Yeah.
Big Ten
And
is on
Fox is up there
Why would
anyway.
you promote
So
another game? But we got the battle for the Heisman, #1 seed, and Big Ten. I mean, technically, if Indiana loses and Mendoza has a great game, Mendoza could obviously still win.
yeah,
but
that was one. I was gonna once we were finished, I was gonna ask the question. Do you think, say Ohio State wins 31-28, but Mendoza goes for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Cyan goes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then the rest is
I'll
to the
leave
ground?
Mendoza. Yeah,
Who would you'd give it? Okay, I would too.
I don't think especially if it's not your fault. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's ahead enough right now that
Mm-hmm.
if he has a great game, he'll win it, even win or lose, unless Sane goes absolutely nuts and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if they both go for 400
Yeah.
yards and 4 touchdowns,
Maybe
you got to go
lean
to the guy
Sane,
who
yeah.
won. Yeah.
But who you got? Which team?
I'd love to say Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
but it's Ohio State. They're the best offense. They're the best defense in the league, period. They have the best defensive player in the league. They have the best offensive player in the league. I mean, kind of there's only one position where you could say Indiana has the advantage over Ohio State, and it's because they have the best one in the country, and Ohio State has the second best one in the country. So, and with that, you can't even determine they're literally playing for the Heisman. So, I just think, as much as I love Signetti as a coach, I think this Ohio State team is just the most superior team in the country by far. I think Indiana will be able to give them a good enough of a fight, but I do think Ohio State can win this by 7 points. So
Yeah, I also got Ohio State. I think their defense is just insane.
it's
and
insane. Avril Reese is going to be a top
Yeah.
3 pick. Sonny Styles is one of my favorites. Caleb Downs is
A
just
monster, yeah.
insane.
So-
Crazy to think he's no longer he was the definitive best defensive player in the country, and now he's kind of been upended by his own teammate.
Yeah, he has to compete against his own team for the title. And I think I trust obviously the Ohio State defense over, and I think that offense can match whatever Mendoza can do. And Jeremiah Smith, just unguardable one-on-one, so you're going to have to double, and Tate, also unguardable one-on-one now. So I do think it's very close, but I think Ohio State's the better team, and they're on a mission to go back-to-back, and I don't think Indiana can stop them. And, I mean, Ohio State hasn't been in this game for years, so they're also trying to win their conference. And I do think Sayin has a great game too, so we'll see how it plays out for the Heisman. That's down the road, but I think Indiana won't fall out of a bye unless they get absolutely obliterated. And I also think Ohio State's more battle-tested with that Texas game.
I agree. They
recent
have the
Michigan
Texas game, the Michigan game.
For Indiana, it's been a while since that Oregon game.
I will say
obviously.
Indiana, I think, beat Illinois a little more handedly than.
Yeah, well,
But that was just one of the most ridiculous ones I've ever seen.
yeah, but I think they both had kind of lenient conference schedules, but I think that especially recently with that Michigan game, Ohio State's been a little more battle tested. So I am gonna take Ohio State, man,
Yeah, I'm going
and
with the
they'll
Buckeyes.
stick with
as well.
that #1 seed. Will it happen like it did with Oregon last year, where they bounced quarterfinals? We don't know, but we'll see. Let's go here to your best bets, man. Let's go straight into them.
For my first and only CFB bet, your traditional,
2-team parlay.
the 2-team moneyline parlay.
I didn't hit both of mine last week, dude. Usually I hit those.
The one we just talked about, I decided to go with Ohio State. I feel confident in them being able to win this game.
Yeah, they're favored by 4.5.
Yeah, so I think that's a safe place for them. And another one, to the school from the greatest defensive lineman of all time, Mean Joe Green's University of North Texas. I think they're able to get the win this week, and they're able to find themselves in a chance to maybe, if Duke does them a huge favor, find themselves in their first ever college football playoff. We're shifting over to the NFL now. For the first one, I have the Bears plus 6.5. As much as I do think Green Bay is going to win, I do think this game's going to be close. It's a rivalry game. I think the weather's going to hold down the offenses a little. It's going to be a little defensive, so you can't have too big a lead. Plus, the Bears have been able to stay in games, except against Tyler Huntley. They've been able to stay in games. So I think they're going to be able to get close. I think they lose by less than a touchdown definitively. So next I have the Seahawks. They're playing really good football. They just had the shutout against Minnesota this week. Obviously, they had the loss where Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions, but even that game was super close. So I think they can roll against any opponent, and I think this week, that's just not a team that's playing good football right now. And 7, I think, was kind of low, so I like to see the Seahawks this week. Chargers, +3. I said it earlier, I think they're going to win straight out, so I'll take those 3 points. Philadelphia is across the country, and they're not playing very good football right now. And I trust the minds of Harbaugh and Minter and just Herbert as a quarterback overall to get the win.
Yeah, I honestly have a light week. I'm not going to lie, usually I do 7 or 8. I only have 5 this week. We got Cowboys +3. I do think they win, but take that field goal just in case. Yeah. I think it'll be close either way, so I am going to take Cowboys +3. And I got Bama +3 as well. Like I said, I think they're going to win, but if not, I'll take those 3 points and take that field goal in a rivalry game that these teams usually play very close. Then I got, obviously, the signature parlay. I have Ohio State money line in there as well, but I actually paired it up with Tech money line. Ohio State's favored by 4, Tech's favored by around 11. It kind of evens out to like -140, -130. I think they both win. It's basically, to me, just Ohio State money line. I don't think Tech loses this. So, yeah, I like that one. And then I got the parlay for the NFL. I got Seahawks, who's favored by 7, like you said, against the Falcons money line. And then the Bucks against the Saints on the road money line. And then I also have the Bears +6.5. I think it's too many points.
It's too much.
They always find a way to play games close, and I am going to take basically a touchdown, 6.5, even though I think the Packers win this one. All right, that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy championship Saturday, and enjoy this big divisional and playoff implication battles in the NFL.
But most importantly, recruiting, because that's where football's really worked.
And enjoy fantasy. Some of y'all's regular season's winding down. I hope you guys are looking toward the playoffs. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Let us let you in on our league for a second.
Yeah.
We have this one league where the 3 seed is 6 and 7, and the 9 seed is 6 and 7. So you could literally end up in the punishment zone, which is the last 3 teams, or in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm 6 and 7 at the 4 seed. I've lost like 3 in a row. Yeah.
I'm 7 seed right now, so there's a league competition in there right now.
And then that another league, I'm in first place at 10-3. You're third.
I'm third, but I'm leader in points.
Yeah, but maybe we'll see a final matchup in that league as well. Yeah. But we'll keep you guys updated.
That's a historic final, just so you know.
Yeah, 2-0 in finals, myself against him.
But I have the 2 greatest. Those because they're the 2 greatest regular seasons we've had in league history, and I just get blown out in both of those finals.
Yeah, it's man. When the big game comes, I perform. Hey, but I will say he's handed me my 2 out of my 3 losses this year. So we'll see, man. We'll see if we even meet in the final. But thank you guys for watching. Enjoy all of what we mentioned, and peace.